Hey guys, this is Sam from Pipe Flare, playing a little Pyro's Mining Rush right now. As you can see, I'm at the smelter, but I am feeling like going on a premium ticket Crystal Cave run. Problem is, I've got a bunch of ore down here, so even though I have a ton of spots in my inventory, I am probably going to need to dump at some point, and I really don't want to wait. I'm really just after the higher level stuff, so I will say I've got a pretty decent setup here for the initial levels of the Crystal Cave, at least the way I like to play. I may show you some of my preliminary strategies that I do here. The Assassin Armor I like to have on for the initial stages here. The Assassin Ring is maxed, the Assassin Blade is maxed, and the Assassin Pickaxe is maxed. So I think I've got a level 3 of the Assassin Armor in my inventory. Yep, there it is. And you can see I've got some really good mining gear. I'll show you that later. And it looks like I need to get my gems up. The good news is I don't really have to buy any gems. I do pretty often purchase the gem offer whenever it's available under the shop setting in the site header. But right now I think I'm good to go for a nice little run. As you can see, I've got a decent bonus here at the very bottom, 10% chance on character death. You'll not have a life removed. And because I've been playing this way in the main game, I already have 38 hearts, or 28, sorry. Obviously I need more coffee. 28 hearts built up, which is more than enough for a character at my level to have a nice little run initially through the Crystal Cave. I will say for premium, what I like to do before I go on any run is have somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 yellow potions. I'm finding that due to my better gear and the higher level of my character and some of the power-ups that I have. By the way, I did get the Aurora chest earlier, and yes, I more than made my money back from the Aurora chest. It's 0.1 Aurora to open. I think I got 0.05 twice, plus some additional Aurora, plus some other bonuses. So generally, if you see that chest, open it. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab some yellow potions. I've got more than enough 1 flare to do it, or 2 flare, I should say. We're going to go overboard. And I do like palindromes, so we'll do that. We're going to take a quick look at my inventory here. As you can see, it's getting pretty close to max. This would be why. The smithy's been giving me nothing but night swords lately. I do have some of this 10x inventory going on here and working for me. I was also able to merge a lot of slots through gems into 5x slots, which helps a lot. But you can see again, I'm gonna have to go over here and discard this eventually. You know, honestly, this is all low level stuff. You get to certain levels in the game. I personally hate the idea of this, but I hate it less than I did initially. Because I was like, it took me time to get this, that seems wasteful. Listen, you get to a higher level in this game and you're going to be able to get copper ore like it's nothing. And what you want to do is not slow down, because when you do slow down, you're going to miss opportunities for this, this, and this. And later on, I'm going to try to get my platinum ingots back up to 15 so I can head over to the smithy and smelt and hopefully get the Mage Staff, the elusive Mage Staff that is exclusive to the Raylith Aura NFT, and hopefully not a 14th Father Time NFT. Yeah, that is just a bit much, for sure. The Mage Staff will go here. I've not been able to mint or purchase the bow. I think right now on the Pyro's Mining Rush secondary market, the bow is going for about $50. I really don't have any intention to pay that level, especially when the Mage Staff at level 5 has a homing function. So that's vastly superior to the bow. It's going to take a while to get to that level, but No rush there. As you can see here, I'm already in profit there on the last Aurora chest I opened. You can see that's true for the one before it, and definitely the one before that, and so on, and so on, and so on. So again, like I said, definitely open that Aurora chest. You have to go back to April 4th, 6 days ago, for the last time I took a slight hit, but, you know, generally speaking, it's worth it, right? This is my entire history I'm showing you. And also I checked for the free spin here. Before I started recording, I did spin. I think I got hearts from the wheel at that time. Hearts were on it. Another thing I'll tell you too, before you start playing, it is best practice to, if you're utilizing Google Chrome, number one, make sure that your browser is totally up to date. These are just tips for an optimal experience. Number two, if you're running a Windows operating system, preferably Windows 11, Control-Shift-Delete within Google Chrome will very quickly clear your cache. And then you can do Control-Shift-R within Pyro's Mining Rush to reset the game. You're going to have the most current, most optimal gameplay experience that way. And whenever you're doing premium runs through the Crystal Cave, that's what you want to have. I love the Rayla Thara NFT. There's a little bit of pride of authorship in that. I, to put it mildly, had a heavy hand in creating Rayla Thara from the ground up, but she's not optimal for the Crystal Cave. She'll be fantastic. Legendary Rayla Thara gets you a 1% Orluck boost on levels 1 through 5. But for the Aurora level, which we'll be releasing soon, it doubles to a 2% boost. But Rayla's Mojo does not extend to the Crystal Cave. We do have, fortunately, another character for that, which I'm going to spin up really quickly. And here she is, the miner suit. So I'm going to select that. I believe that the miner suit can be secured currently, and this is always limited, but currently through the weekly subscription for Advanced Player Progression. I think that's the one. I think the leaderboard weekly subscription gives you a night skin, which is pretty powerful in terms of combat. I think there are some offensive and maybe defensive capabilities there that the night gives you, but I'm all about the mining in Pyro's Mining Rush. That makes the most sense, right? So I really like to use those skins that give me the miner boost, or indirectly a miner boost, an Orluck boost, I should say, through XP. So eventually, through the Pyro's Mining Rush skin subscription, I'll have an opportunity to get the super rare Samurai, which will be a 2x boost, I do believe. And the legendary Samurai, if I can get 2 super rare Samurais, that'll give me a 3x. I'm going to go ahead and buff my defense and my attack. We're not going to trigger this yet. Just keep our eyes on this, but the nice thing is, as you can see here, the assassin armor and a few other items of the assassin gear will boost everything for you. You really don't want to over-engage these lower level enemies too much. And as you can see, you can one-shot the non-boss enemies. Super helpful. You might even be able to harvest some hearts on your way down. So that's why I'm not totally doing a speed run, in case some viewers are wondering. I might be able to get a heart here and there. Spooky music has triggered. Always keep an eye on your health bar there. Anytime it gets to be 90 or lower, you're kind of in the danger zone. By the way, I'll give you guys a heads up, in about 1 hour, you might have me drop off briefly when an alarm goes off. There's a small task I need to do, but that's the beauty of the premium ticket. You can use some or all of it. If you do need to take a break briefly, not a big deal. You can see this is mined out already, by the way. This is, in my opinion, the optimal path. I don't really spend a lot of time in level 1. For me, the best thing I want to do in level 1 is get to level 2 as soon as possible. Floor 2, I should say. And floor 2 does have some pretty good ore in it, so I don't want you to think floor 2 is ever a waste of your time. It's definitely not. And I just used a yellow potion here, by the way, because you don't want to die here. If you do die, currently the switch that I flipped will flip back, and I'm about to die. Oh, don't do that. Now you're going to see what I just told you to do. Or to avoid, I should say. It's not a big deal though. Like I said, we've got 3 hours. Oh, the bandits, man, they follow you everywhere. These guys are a nuisance. There's one that got away. You got to take these guys out. If you don't, okay. See, I got a heart out of the deal. You can also get some decent 2-flare, but again, they'll gang up on you. They'll hit you with webbing, so watch it. Don't drop your guard ever. Once you get to know the optimal path here, it's not too bad. I did not mean to trigger that particular power. I've got a lot of powers here, by the way, that you're going to see. Skills, I should say. These will get you XP. This is the Sword Soul skill. I think it's on the market for around $18 to $20. Worth it in my opinion. We're gonna see why in floor 3 later on. There's a certain enemy that's an even bigger nuisance than the bandits, so the Sword Soul will handle them. These guys that are shooting this slow moving projectile, these are called Crystal Guardians. Keep an eye on the health here. We don't want to repeat. See, 90 or below, just use a yellow potion. That's why I roll up in here with like 150 of these things. But yeah. If you break the Crystal Guardians, once you break 20 of those, you should be able to go to the Goblin Bazaar in level 1 and redeem, along with 3 crystals, it's 3 crystals, which is kind of expensive. You can get the Mirror Shield skill, and I find that works out pretty well. I actually have a nice video that was uploaded April 9th, I believe, on my Twitter, Samuel J. Allen X. So check that out if you want to see it in action. Oh no, oh no. That's the problem, they stun you. By the way, I'll say that whenever you're recording content, you will never play your best. Okay, that's pretty sweet. I think when you get 50 kills, you get an Aurora spin. As you can see, I've emptied out a lot of level 2 here already in hopes of triggering a reset. Sometimes you have to go really hard on that, and yeah. Once I get past this guy, we will zoom out the map here and kind of see what, if anything, even remains. Because I think it honestly might be in my best interest to mess around in floor 2. Yeah. I'm going to go back to floor 2, which is a little easier to mine anyway, and see if I can trigger a reset. Just out of curiosity. Okay, there is a restart level, so push comes to shove, I can always do that, but let's go ahead and mess around on floor 2, because we've got some time, and it's honestly worth it. The ore here, like I said earlier, is not bad at all. And I'm going to add the miner's pickaxe, the miner's shovel, the miner's charm, and the miner suit. So I've got level 5 on all of the miner gear. I told you. I was into the miner stuff here. So the nice thing about the miner suit, whoa, let's trigger this, and you can see much better luck that way. But the nice thing about the miner suit is that you also get a shard bonus, so that can help out a lot. I think it's 1 or 2%. The skill that I will probably use the most here is going to be what I just used, along with the Sword Soul. Those are my two favorite skills thus far. And like I said earlier, you can see I'm just going through here with the copper ore dropping left and right, so I'm probably going to dump that so I can just keep trucking and get the high level stuff. I'm kind of interested what people think in the comments regarding the gas. So I have in the inventory the advanced gas mask, and it has some defensive capabilities that are useful, but the problem is if you're really trying to max your ore luck boost, you're going to lose that whenever you use the gas mask. Plus, the gas mask has a 30-minute timeout. So on these 3-hour runs, you don't really want to rush until maybe your potions are low and you just don't want to die because you're going to have to restart the whole level and you have a feeling the blocks are going to reset because you've mined so many of them. So what I find is that I hold off a lot on using the gas mask, and I could use the consumables. It's just currently I'm really not. This actually looks like a decent little spot here to deploy the ghost miner. And the way you do that, if you have the Dark Star pickaxe, you can task the ghost miner to do that. And that person, as long as you have a pretty good loadout activated, that ghost miner is going to have the same sort of benefits that you were enjoying as an active player. So be very mindful of that before you deploy the ghost miner. Also be very mindful of the fact that enemies are still going to spawn whenever the ghost miner does her thing. So you may end up with like 50 zombies, in which case that's where the Sword Soul really comes in handy, because you can just activate that and take care of that entire horde. You might be able to farm some hearts, stuff like that for your trouble. Sword Soul, I believe, resets every 12 minutes, so you don't have to be too stingy about deploying it. But obviously you don't want to waste it on just one enemy unless you have a very rare and compelling situational issue going on. There is another bonus at some point. I'm going to save it for floor 3. But basically you're able to, with all Dark Star armor, activate around a 30-second run of just going through the ore and or the blocks and mining tons and tons and tons of ore. So if you're very smart and selective about when you do that, you can find a lot of blocks constrained to one space. Activate that skill with all your potions active, your best skin for that situation active, and just go to town. These male zombies, the sword zombies is probably a better way to put it. There we go. They will emit gas when you kill them. The archer zombies do not emit gas, so just be very mindful of that. I find it's helpful a lot of times to kite the sword zombies somewhere where it's safer, away from where you'd like to mine. You may want to follow a similar strategy. Yeah, so I'm actually going to kite this guy right there and then work on this while he's biodegrading. You'll notice with this gear too that your health does not automatically replenish. So again, always keep an eye on anytime it's 90 or below. Basically, if you have 100 hit points, a gap of 100 hit points, that's worthy of a yellow potion because that's what it will restore. The objective here, whenever you go into the premium crystal cave, is to walk away, ideally, with as many crystal shards as you can. 25 will yield 1 crystal. Other than that, though, you will have some really nice platinum and some gold. My objective, like I said, it actually at this point might even be my main objective, is to mine as much platinum as I can. So with Raylith Aura, I can mint a mage staff. When I last checked the Aurora blockchain, there was only 1 mage staff owner. That occurred over 2 weeks ago. So in roughly 2.5 weeks, we've had 1 person mint 1 mage staff. Whoever that was, they just got really lucky, I think. We have many more active players, including myself, not with similar luck, but I have confirmed through the developer that the higher your Raylith Aura NFT is, the higher your chances are of minting the mage staff. So you want to get to legendary status as soon as you can on Raylith Aura for purposes of mage staff minting, but also just the ore luck boost, and also the sheer fact that I'm kind of worried about getting out of here now. That's not too good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. Should have thought about that, shouldn't I? That was diabolical. Alright, well, learn from my mistakes, guys. Do not do this. I may have to restart the level, and then we may have... I think I'm going to have to. If I had the ninja active in here, I think the ninja has a jumping boost, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it out of here. I don't think there's a clever way to do it. So I should have thought about that. Be mindful of your exits, wherever you go in the Crystal Cave. Let's see what happens when we restart this. My prediction is it's going to respawn everything. Now I'm also going to waste a little time here, switching back to my assassin gear. So hopefully this is edifying to those watching. I give you tips on what to do, and also inadvertently tips on what not to do. But it is an authentic experience, so hopefully some of you find this to be relatable and or humorous. Feel free to leave a comment if anything like this has happened to you. These little spiders, by the way, you may recall them if you owned the Pumpkin. That's part of his special attack. I have mixed feelings about these special chests. I'm not the best at triggering them, as you can see. And they oftentimes end up just doing additional damage. I really hate this enemy in red, though. Okay, yeah, you can see some of the blocks reset here. That's okay. Providing that I don't die, you'll be able to watch me carve a path. I usually like to keep floor 1 pretty optimal for speedrun purposes. You know what? I'm just kind of curious. Nice! Okay, I will say that was very satisfying, because I do hate those guys. So again, any enemy who produces a projectile, the mirror shield is pretty sweet. Ooh, you know that red enemy that I said I hated just a while ago? That might be the answer for that dude. So that's good. That's actually... The mirror shield, again, I was able to unlock by breaking 20 Crystal Guardians and paying 3 crystals to mint it, which Wonder how long the recharge is. Not very long, it moves pretty quickly. So I know I said that I'm not going to use Sword Shield or Sword Soul on just one enemy, and I am going to hold true to that rule. But was I tempted just now? Yes. These guys are a menace. There are certain enemies in this game, just like any other game, where you're like, oh, not that guy again. So what we're trying to do right now is get to the switch. If I can stop literally being stabbed in the back. Get to the switch so we can deactivate the flame that is resource guarding the door to floor 2 in the Crystal Cave. It has been possible in the past to dash through that if your health is high enough. It's also possible that the damage from that has been modified to one-shot pretty much anyone. So you can test it, but it's really not that much time to do this. So I really wouldn't. Most people probably don't have millions of 2 flare just sitting around to spend on yellow potions either. Those are valuable, and I wouldn't waste those. The 2 flare within the game, you can procure that currently through exchanging, I believe, 10,000 1 flare for 450,000 2 flare. So not a bad deal. If you genuinely enjoy playing the games like I do, it keeps you in the game for a very modest price. And these prices are, just because they're nice now doesn't mean they'll be nice forever, right? So it never hurts to spend those. Also, keep your eye on this. I'm pretty close to these challenges as well. You can get some free spin wheels. You may have noticed that I was banking like over 15 spins. That's because the wheel changes its prizes every so often, and I have seen it with like 3 ingots. And you know, it's like 3 different types of ingots. That can save you a lot of time because you're gonna take time mining ore, and then take time smelting it, and then take time, well, you're not going to get yet to the smithy, but it will save you time mining and smelting. Gosh, I am terrible, you guys. Terrible at this. Maybe I should just start bypassing these yellow chests, or the special chests. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but it's kind of feels like a imbalance risk-reward proposition, because you're going to open it and get like a handful of 2 flare, or maybe 15 XP, whereas you're probably better off taking no damage. I'm gonna try this. We have 2 enemies here that are downright evil. Do your worst. Alright, that was very satisfying, I will say. You know, I wonder what happens when you use the mirror shield on the flames. This is a very new skill. I have not yet tested it, so I'm not going to be able to test it here, but I might do it eventually. There's also a counter that's been added to the Goblin Bazaar so you can keep track of your progress. For those who follow me on Twitter, prior to the counter being installed, I think I actually had 4 or 5 Goblin King kills. So when the counter got installed, that reset to 0, and I'm going to need to get all 10 Goblin King kills to get whatever skill is associated with that, but that's okay. I play a lot of PMR. I'll get it eventually anyway. It just kind of adds thrill to the chase, something to strive for. Yeah, I'm already looking at the special chest, like, why though? And yes, I do realize this is not very strategic of me. I was expecting some gas there. Now this, I think I'll be able to get. Yeah, so I got some 2 flare, but I don't know. I guess with the assassin armor, the loss is not that egregious. I can feel my caffeine starting to kick in, by the way, so I may get a little more loquacious. You've been warned. If we have enough people do this, at some point, I may consider migration to Twitch and see if we can do something live with the community participating. I think that'd be pretty cool. We don't really do a whole lot of that currently, but that is definitely something our community manager, Mr. Shadow CX, and I talk about often. We have a lot of things that we'd like to do along the engagement lines to just have fun with you guys, because we really enjoy hanging out with you, but time on our end, just like time on your end, is a scarce commodity. So sometimes it's better to steward our finite availability towards solving problems, developing products, things like that. But we do realize that engagement is also certainly important, so we don't want to deprive you guys of that. If that's something you have an interest in, please articulate that too in the comments, and definitely we can explore that, especially if there's clear justification for it. Finally, I got some ore. I feel like I just mined 9 blocks or so and got no ore. I don't know if that happens to you guys as well. I will eventually switch back to my miner gear here, but there are some enemies coming up, and I'd rather just recharge my health, blast through those enemies, and get to floor 3. My suspicion is that floor 3 is going to be stacked, so maybe getting lost in floor 3 was somewhat of a happy accident, and by the time I get back there I should have Ghost Miner that I can deploy, so that'll be pretty cool. I'm kind of thinking about switching up my path, and instead of hopping up and down, I think I'm going to jump over, like go straight over, and then up a little bit. Whoop. So like right around here. Yeah, let's switch it up a little bit. This is what I'm talking about, where you kite these guys out of the way. I should have kited a little bit longer. That's okay. Due to the regenerative powers of assassin gear, it's not that important. It's all good. So there are a lot of different ways to win in Pyro's Mining Rush. This is just one of multiple strategies. It's going to be really nice whenever the Aurora level debuts and I won't have to switch from Rayleigh Aura, because aesthetically I think she just looks a little bit better than the miner skin. No shade to the miner, but I kind of like that lime green Aurora sort of look. What I'm doing here is just mashing the spacebar, holding up as well, and then kind of reaching with my index finger. So I've got like my pinky on up and index finger on J to mine. So as long as you don't suffer from carpal tunnel or anything like that, you should be able to do the same. We're going to let the gas clear here a little bit. I'm not going to worry about that Crystal Guardian because I've already gotten the kills needed. Oh, actually he's right in front of me. For some reason I was thinking the Crystal Guardian was above me, when clearly due to the minimap that is not the case. But But I should be able to one-shot the Guardian with my skill here. I could deploy Sword Soul, but it feels a little wasteful for the situation. Yeah, nice. Alright, this isn't good. I don't like... Oh, man. Ooh, that was close. Alright, let's try that again. In hindsight, maybe I should have just used Sword Soul, right? And as you can see from the minimap here on the lower right side, I'm closing in on the entryway to floor 3. I have found, by the way, and some of you may think that since I'm an admin that maybe I use some opportunities to engage the developers along the insider lines. You have to remember, I'm still a gamer, and I like to have some sense of mystery to something I'm spending hours and hours on. I kind of like to figure out things for myself. Call it old school, but it is something that I enjoy. So with that being said, I have noticed that whenever in the Crystal Cave, especially floor 3, there's gas, you're more likely to get crystal shards. Now, that could be confirmation bias, but it feels like around these gas blocks up here that the quality of the ore is a little bit better. Like if you've ever played Minesweeper sometimes, you know, it's almost like a version of that. Where you're getting a little bit closer to what you want. But especially whenever gas actually deploys, it's almost like there's an ore luck bonus that comes with that. Maybe it's also because I don't use the gas mask as much as I should. But I've noticed a lot of shards dropping whenever there is like a big green gas bubble. And it's basically like the more of those gas bubbles in an area that I see, it feels like I get more quality ore. Fillings are not facts, so perhaps that's just my confirmation bias. I haven't really tracked it closely, but I am curious what your findings are, so feel free to share that in the comments as well. Probably by the time I get to 190 health, I should be at the entryway to floor 3. And we'll see what sort of situation I walk into. And if it's a decent situation, I will switch into miner gear and go to town on that. I'll probably go ahead and deploy a ghost miner pretty quickly as well. One thing you want to do, other than having optimal gear whenever you deploy the ghost miner, meaning that you have your blue potion activated, you have your best mining gear on, you also want to make sure that your health is high, because if your health is low, that ghost miner is not going to help you. When you respawn, the ghost miner will be gone. So it's only a 12-minute wait or so, but you want to be very judicious about how and where you use that ghost miner. Anybody who tries to take the path directly above me, I mean, there's a switch, I think, that you can switch off, but you're going to spend a lot of time doing that, so I don't really see much point in it. One thing I'm glad that we patched, by the way, we used to have projectiles going through the wall. The worst. I'm actually going to keep that stair step. I'm trying to refresh my email inbox because I just got a business-related email. And so it's like, if I had the camera on right now, you guys would probably be laughing. This is what I get for multitasking. Everybody thinks they're a good multitasker. Nobody is actually a good multitasker. You just end up doing many things poorly. I do have to test something though. So when duty calls, it is important. Okay, back to business at hand. As you can see, I am spawning into not the rosiest situation. I have not figured out a really great way to combat. You know what? That's how you do it. Kind of. Alright. I could test this out too. That, I don't think that works. Oh, because it's vertical? Yeah. Alright, well now we know. Now we know. Oh, well, okay. If you're gonna die, let it be at the beginning of the level, am I right? And actually, it kind of teleported me, so this is like not a bad situation to be in. Let's kind of scope out. So it looks like I can go to the right. Now, I'll go to the left. Yeah, that's a pretty nice path right there. Okay, so for those who own Dark Star armor, you know this. For those who don't, prepare to be amazed. Okay, a few things you can do here. The skill that I have in the lower right-hand corner will deploy a skeleton warrior. Honestly, it's more of a novelty than anything, but this thing right here, Dark X-Ray, is amazing. It takes 6 hours to reset them. So, like I said, you want to make sure you've got your boost active. You probably want to go ahead and activate this too, because you're going to have a lot of enemies. You're probably going to see it. Dark X-Ray is not dazzling me thus far, but I do see the gas. Watch your health. This is not like, I'm not exactly the Michael Jordan of using Dark X-Ray, as you can see. I've had better runs, but as I told you earlier, when you have the camera on, you're going to struggle. It just happens. I don't make the rules. Okay, but don't worry. Sadly, that was the one and only Dark X-Ray run that I had for this run. But what we're going to do more than anything else is leverage Ghost Miner. So, yeah, see, that's how it's done. And then you can switch back to your best mining pickaxe, which would be this in my case. And keep it moving. We're on floor 3, so honestly, everything's fair game. Health is getting low. Watch out for that. No regenerative powers here, so... Honestly, I probably should just not wake the dead. But I can't not wake the dead. I'm a little bit OCD. And I like clearing those guys just in case I'm in a rush and have to kill something. Because what I'll end up doing is hitting a grave site and bad things will follow. So it's best to take them out early, in my opinion. Like, see, these guys are about to get me to trigger their brother over here. That's exactly what happened. See? That is why I have the strategy that I have. Alright, topping up the health. As you can see, my Ghost Miner is doing some work, which we appreciate. And if at any point my ore gets full here, don't sweat it. Just dump the low level, probably copper ore, and keep the eyes on the prize. Because, you know, let's face it. See, here's a classic here's a classic thing where I would want to use the gas mask. I don't know, we're gonna see what my Ghost Miner does. I'll circle back to this later. I may use the gas mask, I may not. This guy is a perfect candidate for the sword soul. But you know what? That's interesting, because he gets... Okay, that works. So that's another use case for the mirror, I think is what it's called. Mirror something. It's the technical name for it. The mirror something. Okay, so based upon what I said earlier, I think this block right here is going to give me some good stuff. It did not at all. It's like a step above when it's Christmas morning and you open up a gift, it looks really good, and it's another pair of socks. Ah, but see, crystal shard right here, and what's nearby? Exactly. Okay. I feel quite vindicated by that. Okay, so we're going to actually go up. So I want to explore this theory some more. If you can, by the way, it is much better not to die on floor 3, because if you do die on floor 3 while you get, like, I think maybe a 5-second shield to gather your bearings, there's a very good chance that you're just going to be overwhelmed by high-level enemies. And you don't want that. You can have much more control over the play experience if you simply don't die. That's a mixture of getting good and having good gear, having a high-level character, having a good skin, and there you have it. Alright, right here. Okay, I thought that was going to be a crystal shard. I feel like some gas is going to deploy in this area. And then I'm going to start getting platinum and crystal shards. Alright, there's the gas. Up, see? This is what I'm talking about. 2 crystal shards. Do you guys see what I mean? Now, if I use the gas mask, my ore luck bonus may not have been activated, right? So I wouldn't have taken damage, but would I have still gotten 2 crystal shards? I don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think so. So the gas mask is almost like an emergency thing where maybe I'm getting kind of low on the yellow potions. and I have like 30 minutes left, or maybe 45 minutes left in my run. So hold that stuff. But right now, we've got over 2 hours to go. I did not mean to activate that. No, that's okay. The recharge on it is not that long. So yeah, that's another tip, is have the skill that you most often use ready, because you're reflexively going to hit L to deploy some skills when you feel threatened. Okay, let's see. The ghost miner got most of this gas, or this area up here where the gas was concentrated. But I think if I run up there, it'll be worth my while. So I can go up and to the left if I can remember how to jump properly. Alright, we're gonna top up my health here a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna minimize this so I can focus. Now, it looks like yeah, that's just too precarious of a jump. I may have to deploy the gas mask just to get up there. No, I'm good. Skills for the win. Alright, keep an eye on the health. Don't get cocky. See? Again, the crystal shards. I'm telling you guys, I'm onto something. I need to kite this guy up here. Alright. Go ahead and claim my bonus spin. Some fateful day it'll be worth it. Total coincidence that I took gas damage and got some platinum there. I mean, you are going to have a good amount of platinum come your way on floor 3 of the Crystal Cave. This is going to have the best payouts in the Pyro's Mining Rush universe currently. I should have kited him further there. See if there's anything I can do. Oh no. These guys. Oh no, even worse. Okay. It's going to be worth every single time to handle these guys. They're so obnoxious. Like, just for him, it's worth it. And obviously, if you can get some additional utility out of it, cool. Health is getting a little low, so watch it. We could have something spawn right here, but we didn't. Okay. I haven't forgotten, just off to the left, there is some unmined blocks in a fairly gassy state. There's also a necromancer at the bottom of this level, and the best way I can fathom to beat him is nothing but Dark Star armor. Yeah, we're gonna kite both of these guys if they'll move. The animation here I think definitely could be smoother, so once we get the Aurora level launched, I'll probably speak with one of our developers about optimizing that. We do try to focus on things that matter the most to the community. My goodness. My goodness. So I think I started with around 175 yellow potions. I've already used 25, probably giving like a solid 3 out of 10 in personal effort. So just so you guys know, I'm not exactly bringing my A game for this. It's 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on April 10th. Just had my coffee. So you're getting suboptimal Sam, but from what I hear, suboptimal Sam is still pretty good. Pyro's Mining Rush tends to agree sufficiently. The main thing you want to do with these guys is do not get hit by the spikes, so just don't let them kill you with your impatience, pretty much, or your frustration. What's really bad is when you die and you have like 3 of those guys who spawn right where you respawn, and they may not necessarily be synced up in terms of their attack. So you may have 1 shooting spikes here, 1 shooting spikes there, but they do tend to congregate together. Oh no. Sort of decent. I probably should have used the mirror shield on that. I'm still getting used to having that. Alright, once I mine this block, I am going to go back to where I was, because I don't really foresee myself migrating over there. And these guys have a tendency to just kind of gang up and jump you. Okay, I thought I had some unmined blocks. Did I? Okay, I see where they are. So we're going to have to go up and over and hopefully not to be killed by the inanimate gas. It's always a bummer when you're able to overcome multiple mobile enemies, but basically be killed by a stationary object. Not the ideal final memory you want of your character on their playthrough obituary. So, alright, looks like we've got a pretty good amount of stuff here. This would actually be a really nice area for Dark X-Ray, but I will not be able to activate that for like another 5 hours. But we might be able to deploy a miner. I'm going to probably give him a little more time to recharge, so I can busy myself with killing an enemy here and hopefully not taking damage from a chest. See, I got 26 XP and probably would have potentially taken like 50 damage, so you know, the risk profile on that, not great. Yeah, we still need to recharge on the miner some, so what I'll do is busy myself with mining these blocks, taking care not to fall down, because you can see, at least I thought, yeah, there's a pit over there. So health is good, time is good. We're closing in on 1 hour of playtime, and probably I will have consumed 30 yellow potions. If I can buckle down and actually focus, hopefully we can get that to approach 0. But listen, you know, if I take on the Necromancer, which I may do for the sake of entertainment purposes in this video, you're very likely to burn through a lot of yellow potions in my experience when you do that. So if I avoid him, I should have probably 40 yellow potions at the end of my playthrough. But if I decide to take him on, which I may, because he spawns just endless enemies, then I may have close to 0 potions at the end of this playthrough. There's still plenty of activity for the ghost miner below, so I may delegate some mining to him momentarily, but we'll give him ample time to recharge. You can certainly set timers on your phone if you want to be that much of a tryhard. I do not. It's midday here, and you know, I'm just casually playing. Our games are all hyper casual, so you can definitely approach them, you know, with a try-hard mentality if you feel so inclined, but I personally would rather just de-stress and get some assets and just kind of chill out, so I'm not going to worry too much about that, and that seems to be serving me pretty well on the platform thus far. So why fix it if it's not broken, right? Okay, so I think right here I am very impressive and very sarcastic. Okay. This is always a nice little rush whenever you have the miner active and you start just getting tons of really excellent ore pop in. Again, you do not want to die in floor 3 of the Crystal Cave. Just don't do it. And you can actually see your buddy active on the map. So you can see him down there doing his thing. Ooh. Keep an eye on the health, always, kids. Just strafe, hit the guy, let him die, let him emit his gas far away from where you know you're going to be working. Yeah, this is the dark side of using the miner, because you will have enemies go for you, not the miner. And it will be tantamount to a death by 1,000 paper cuts if you're not careful. So be careful. Like, I have 88 health right now. I'm probably 1, maybe 2 swipes away from dying. As I said, we don't want to die. Not ideally. Okay, I'm going to lower this mini-map and we will migrate back to where I was. Just holding my finger down on the wrong key. I'm feeling lucky. Let's see if my shard hypothesis holds. I'm also being very bold here by just continuing to mine with, yeah. Do as I say, not as I do. Generally. Like I said, there is an element of entertaining you guys. Gotta take some risks. Alright, I am still right here, so Might as well get it and maybe take that Crystal Guardian out and then go back up to the upper left chamber. Probably going to have to dump some more at some point. It looks like if I go this route, I may have the element of surprise on the Crystal Guardian to some extent, or at least a good angle of attack. Oh no! You know what? You can't control everything, but this is what I'm talking about, guys, with the respawn here. I've seen worse. I've seen way, way worse. So that was actually the game being fairly kind to me so far. So far. Alright. This guy again. Okay. Yep, there he is. I knew it. I knew it. Such a better experience when he can just try to torment you. I think that's actually what they're called, tormentors. I could be wrong though. And you just mine leisurely while the Sword Soul does your light work. And you get 2 crystal shards. It's hard to beat that. Okay. I think we are now... Whoops. I accidentally hit 2 of those, so be careful too about double tapping your health, because you will end up using what could have been 100 hit points for what's more like 20 hit points. Not the end of the world, but not prudent either. The good news is, I do think I am legitimately going to be able to sneak attack this guy, which I was. Come at me, bro. You know what? Yeah, we'll do this. I think this is actually right around the entrance to floor 3, if I'm not mistaken. So you can see I do a lot of kiting of the enemy as a strategy. It's effective. Okay, so I have requested patching of the bottom side of these spikes. Currently, they are fatal. So if you hit the blunt side of that spike, meaning the side that does not appear sharp, you will die. Don't do it. Don't jump around it. Don't do anything like that. It's all fun and games until you're basically impelled by something with the cutting power of a butter knife. It's a very bad way to die. But it can happen in Pyro's Mining Rush, at least currently. Lots of gas around here, which Going off my working theory means we're about to pull some shards. We are not going to capitulate to the pressure to use the gas mask. We're going to continue profiting off of our very awesome bonus ore luck, hopefully. See, this scares me. I feel like I'm about to hit the blunt part of this spike. So be very careful. Right, we're going to go ahead and recharge. I don't think I have a ghost miner available, but if I do, I wish I had dark x-ray. I would definitely clean up here. So you may want to remember dark x-ray around the entrance of floor 3. You just go past the flames and drop down to the right, and you will most likely, you will most likely clean up. Because that's just a big open space with nothing but ore. Like all this. That's pretty good. Okay. Let's see if I can divide and conquer. It may be too soon. Yeah, it's way too soon. It's all good. Honestly, the boost I get by mining manually is pretty generous. It's stronger than what the Ghost Miner can do, so it's not the end of the world if you don't have Ghost Miner. Really, I would say the most advantageous thing you can do for yourself within Pyro's Mining Rush is get level 5 mining gear as soon as possible. Surprised we don't have any gas triggered yet. Ah! Okay, that's good. That's the beautiful thing about zombies. They're not really reactive to you moving around, so use that to your advantage. A moving target is harder to kill. By the way, another fun thing that would be cool for everyone to drop into the chat is how long you've been a member of Pipe Flare and some of your favorite games other than Pyro's Mining Rush, like maybe what you would like to see other than a Crystal Cave playthrough. For example, I have the carrier ship. I think I'm one of 50 or fewer owners of the carrier ship, so if you'd like to maybe see me do a run in Space Shooter with the carrier ship for like an hour, keep in mind I'm also a pro supporter, so I've got a lot of bonuses and boosts and stuff like that. I'll be happy to do that and show you what we're working with. I think I do actually have some older videos roughly to that effect, so I could do that for you. I also have the Triforce rocket in Beatbox, which I'm not the best beatbox player in the world, but I'm also not the worst. If that's something you'd like to see, I can definitely do that as well. Just let me know. Subway Run, that's another fun one. I'm actually not bad at Subway Run. I'm very lapsed, but I have placed in the top 10 on Subway Run in the past, and I think if I were to do it cold right now, I probably would get top 15, certainly top 20 in just one run. I'm really not bad at all with that. Again, though, there's a scarcity of time, so. Subway Run, I think one run takes 15 minutes, so. I could do that if there's interest, otherwise, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, I'm going to be stubborn and not activate the gas mask yet. I'm holding off intentionally. Taking damage intentionally, because this is going to be good, I feel like. It's copper. It is literally the worst. But this is going to be good. Nothing. Nothing. Gold. Not bad. The thief skin is all gold and kind of looks like gold members, so maybe we'll Maybe we'll add to the thief skin something about where he's more likely to get gold ore. I think that'd be kind of fun. He loves gold, just like Goldmember. Generally speaking, if we do make any changes, so you can always pursue these skins in confidence. Philosophically, Mr. Shadow and I, we probably have the most influence when it comes to skins in Pyro's Mining Rush. And philosophically, we try to avoid modification of a skin whatsoever after we launch it to the main website, available for purchase, earning, what have you. But if we do change a skin, usually we don't like to nerf it. We like to buff it. So that's just something for you to know. The guys designing your toys generally will leave them alone, or if they don't leave them alone, they'll make them even better. Alright, so we have 2 minutes of the blue potion remaining. And I'm not using any sort of attack or defense buffs. Each one is active for 30 minutes. I have 2 more hours in the cave, and I really would prefer not to go back to the shop, so I think I'm just going to try to hammer down as is. I've got a pretty powerful character, so unless I start doing like excessively stupid things, I should be okay. Some would argue that my approach to gas is arguable as a stupid thing, but you know, if I'm pulling crystal shards from it, hard to argue against. It could simply be correlation, not causation, though. I will concede that. Kind of a mixture of correlation misattributed to causation and confirmation bias, for example. I think I'm having a pretty peaceful Crystal Cave run, though, so far, which is good. Some of my runs have been pretty rough, I will concede. But you have to take the good with the bad. An example of some of my worst runs in the Crystal Cave is when I did not really mine in a way that set myself up for success. One of the things you can do, if you for sure have floors 1, 2, and 3 all the way clear, another nice strategy is to go through with a classic ticket. Now this is, again, nothing has been mined on floors 1, 2, or 3. And what you can do is go through with a 30-minute classic ticket and mine your floors just to develop a path of least resistance to floor 3, right? And around the 25th minute, you're going to get a prompt asking you if you want to use another ticket, be it classic or premium. And that's a great opportunity if you have the constitution to play the game for 3.5 hours. That's a good opportunity to activate your premium ticket as you're about to head into a completely tabula rasa floor 3 with nothing but all the blocks to mine, and they yield the best. You've got the best character, best gear, lots of time. You're going to clear that out, and you're going to do pretty well for yourself. Uh-oh. I almost got in trouble there. There's a lot of gas here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Looks like I can go a little bit to the right later, or the left. That is Suboptimal kiting. So I'm going to get hit with a little bit of gas here. No, I got lucky. So I think... yeah. I think what I'm going to do is clean out this little area. And then clean out the left and work my way slowly to the right. I will eventually encounter the Necromancer. And he's probably worth killing because he's surrounded by a lot of mineable blocks that are known to be pretty generous. So he resource guards a lot. Probably, if I had to estimate, 40, 45 blocks. Maybe more. Maybe 60. We'll call it 50. That's probably fair. And if you do have a lot of gas, you can just kind of speed run through it. And generally, you won't take too much damage. See, about the miner's gear, you'll notice that I just mined 2 blocks back to back, and so I think it's the double ore is not, yeah, so the set bonus is a 10% chance to instantly mine blocks. That's very valuable, especially as you consistently utilize the miner gear. There are some other nice sets out there, but the ore luck boost and the chance to mine a bunch of blocks back to back, hard to beat. So for my money, you know, depending upon your playstyle, if you're a guy that just likes to run around and kill things, probably the assassin gear or the dark star armor is going to be your best bet. But if you like to mine in Pyro's mining rush, which I imagine most of you do, then you're going to fare best with the miner gear, at least as of now, April 2024. Will that ever change? Possibly. We're always growing the game in new ways, adding new levels. We can get pretty creative sometimes, so maybe we add some levels or some enemies that kind of flip things around. For example, some enemies that take your mining gear and randomly turn it into other gear until an effect wears off. Or maybe take like your level 5 mining gear, and if you get hit by a certain projectile, that gear is locked for 15 minutes. You can't use it. Stuff like that. Repossession, right? So, temporary repossession. Obviously, with this being on the blockchain, we can't just pull things from your inventory, nor would we if we could, but I think it might be fun and add an element of strategy. You know, like if you're going through the crystal cave here, what if one of these blocks exploded with some sort of electric something and just locked your mining gear in the inventory? If you guys have any creative ideas that would maybe spice things up here, feel free to drop some ideas to that effect in the comments. And you know, honestly, if I'm able to track you down, I'm not asking you necessarily, I'm not asking you necessarily to post your wallet address. I'm not really the biggest fan of people dropping their wallet addresses, but maybe if you could drop a name on Twitter that I could DM you to get a wallet address and maybe your Pipeflare linked email. If you have some cool ideas, you know, definitely drop those into feature requests on Discord, and we may implement that, and we may even award you with something for having such a cool idea. But otherwise, if you want to drop it in here, feel free, and the same thing may happen. By the way, when you see blocks up here, mine them first. I don't know why I didn't do that, because it's kind of a pain to get to now. And I don't like leaving even one block unmined, because it kind of throws things off a little bit. You know what? I know who can handle this. I know just the guy. And of course he bypasses it immediately. Hopefully he gets it eventually. I'm not gonna obsess about it just yet. Alright. That's nice. Pulled a crystal shard for me. I do appreciate that, good sir. Read the room, Ghost Miner. I wanted you to mine the block that I spawned you next to. You know, it could be me, but the Ghost Miner seems to be... Sorry, got an alarm going off there. As I mentioned at the top of the video, I may have something that I need to do, which I do. So I'm going to need to take a quick pause here, but it's kind of fortuitous because it's really not too bad when you have the Ghost Miner doing your light work for you. Because if you have some stuff come up, it's all good. You've already delegated. Okay, so... I am fully back, for those wondering. There was just one thing time sensitive that I needed to take care of. I'm telling you, it's a really good idea to stay alive. Like the Bee Gees song. Another thing I would like everyone to leave in the comments, how do you like the name Pyro's Mining Rush? Now, I know we had a poll about it. I had an idea for this game, as far as the name, that never even made it to the poll, I don't think. And so let me know what you think about this. Maybe you think it's cheesy, maybe you think it's clever, maybe you have other thoughts. But the name that I had for this game initially, as an internal suggestion, was Mine Your Own Business. Like mind your own business, but it's mining your own business. I think it's more descriptive than what Pyro's Mining Rush is, and kind of fun. But then again, maybe you think that's cheesy. Let me know. Like I said, I don't like leaving these graves not dug up. Because when I leave these guys around, inevitably there's a really chaotic enemy chasing me. And as I'm swiping at it desperately, I hit a grave, and this guy hits me with a dagger through the heart every time. So I'd rather just deal with him in isolation. One-on-one, mano-y-mano. I don't know exactly the amount of damage these guys do, but I do know I want to avoid him. In this case, he's doing 0 damage, thanks to Sword Soul. And that's the way we do it. Such a great skill. I really cannot encourage people enough to buy this skill. It's like so nice. The developer who made this skill, I asked him, because it reminded me a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh no, I'm about to die. I am about to die. Uh-oh, I don't like this. Okay. For those who have seen Guardians of the Galaxy, there is a dagger or something to that effect that you can whisper, and it can take care of just a horde of enemies. And I was like, you know, this reminds me of that. And he did confirm that was the inspiration for it. So, if you two are thinking the same thing, there you go. Now see, you can't really control it when the kamikaze skulls come after you. And this is exactly why we don't want to die. Okay, alright. Hold on. Okay, so this is why you want to have assassin gear. Or Dark Star armor. It's a preference. I like to have the assassin gear because I can one-shot enemies. And these guys at the top, you only get so many swipes, right? But if you can get one good hit in, That's good. Plus, while you're desperately running for your life, this is not a good situation, you guys. Not a good situation at all. This is exactly what I was talking about, though. The game will punish you so much for dying in level 3. Okay. Notice how these are a little bit off sync. I've seen worse. I've seen worse where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 or 5 of these guys, and by the time the 5th shot fires off, the first enemy has recharged. And so it's pretty much impossible unless you have the sword soul. So we're going to work our way out of this pit that I've gotten us into, or really the kamikaze skull got me into, which is not its name, by the way. That's just the name I gave it. I think it's kind of a cool name. Hopefully not culturally insensitive. It is an actual historic event, but maybe we can build into the lore. It's like not a samurai skull, but a descendant of the samurai, a kamikaze skull. Certainly mean no disrespect to the victims of Pearl Harbor when I say that either, my fellow Americans. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so I think we can switch to mining equipment again, which again we want to do just to get optimal results. Okay, I'm looking for the miner's shovel. Now the miner's charm, level 5. Now the miner's suit. We have a lot of mineable blocks here. It is not yet time for the ghost miner though. So we're going to continue going through this. We're going to try to persevere through the gas while keeping an eye on our health. Alright, we're going to take a quick pause. And that was to top up my health, and now we're back in the game with 90 minutes remaining. Doing pretty well for ourselves too, by the way. I don't want to take time and count my ore or anything like that, but I imagine I'm getting pretty close to capacity, and I think I dumped 135 copper ore before I began. Just due to the nature of rewards on floor 3 of the Crystal Cave, I have most likely replaced that copper ore with ore that is inarguably superior in quality. So that's a good trade. And I think I'm pretty close to when I showed my inventory. I'm either right there at maxing all the different pickaxes or very, very close to it. So I'm not really losing a lot by not immediately smelting that ore. But obviously, you're going to have better outcomes when you do smelt your ore. But sometimes you just really want to go on a Crystal Cave run, you know? It's not every day that I have 3 hours to spare, so certainly for me, this has been an opportune moment. And this is what you want. You want to be able to have every enemy on the board controlled. You want to have a nice little area carved out where you can kite said enemy should one emerge. and then you can get right back to mining your ore with all your best gear and all your best bonuses active. I think, well, that was unfortunate, but that's okay, we can go here. And this guy is able to get around some of... Oh no! I thought I was going to be slick and get past him. I was not. Sword Soul can't save me now, but maybe this can. Maybe not. Nope. I may be able to take him out without switching to assassin gear. If so, it's probably worth it. I don't know. Might be equidistant, because if I switch to assassin gear, it's going to take time. If I try to kill him without assassin gear, it's going to take time. However, there is no guarantee that assassin gear is going to one-shot him, so pick your poison. Okay. In the future, I can definitely do one of these for the Aurora level. You know, there's the Kamikaze Skull. He's really hard to hit with a projectile too. Clever. Oh, but not today. Not clever enough today. You've been banned by the admin. Permabanned. So I should have about 12 more minutes of the blue potion. What I'd like to do, since I know the Ghost Miner respawns, I believe, every 12 minutes, is when that blue potion gets to like seconds remaining, that's when I'll deploy the Ghost Miner. And then I'll refresh my blue potion and be able to use that for my own purposes. But as long as that Ghost Miner is active, and as long as that Ghost Miner was spawned with boosts, that Ghost Miner will mine in accordance with those boosts. That is very good to know. So I think the way I evaded the Kamikaze Skull that time was jumping up as soon as he got right around my feet. I think I took minimal splash damage from that, so that was good. That's another strategy too, but you don't always have the liberty to jump up. You also don't know the direction from which the Kamikaze Skull may come. So it's been a while since the bandits spawned too, so you never know when those guys are going to rear their ugly head, tie you up. They'll probably wait until I get around the Necromancer and then just appear. Tie me up there, and just that way he can just immediately slay me. They're the worst. We're gonna hug to the wall here, and just kidding. There's a Crystal Guardian. Oh no. I don't like this scenario at all. At all. Okay, we're gonna flee to relative safety, pop a quick potion, and this problem should be solved in short order. Like I said, guys, $18, $20, whatever it is. I think it might have been 16 actually. I think it was 18 retail, and then roughly 16 or so with my pro supporter discount. But the Sword Soul, while you can buy it, which obviously a weapon like this is not going to be available forever, just go buy it. Seriously, just go buy it. Not financial advice. Do your own research, but I said what I said. Okay, we've got about 8.5 minutes till the Ghost Miner can be deployed. If you guys, by the way, have any certain strategies that you would like to share, preferably with a timestamp of my video so I can understand the context, let me know. Maybe you've got a really great way of dealing with a certain enemy or navigating a certain problem. I definitely do not have it all figured out. Feel free to share. We are now officially running downhill. We have less time remaining than we started with. Okay, so holding true to my theory here, I'm wondering if we're going to have some greater rewards around the gas, especially like right here. What I wanted to do is get myself set up to kind of drop down. It's easier to just hug a wall and drop down than it is to combat gas and move up, if that makes sense. Gravity kind of does the work for you that way. Simulated gravity in a game, but gravity-like effects nonetheless. My health is getting a little low. I'm not too worried per se, but I'd rather not find myself in another situation where I'm being attacked simultaneously by like 5 different enemies. So I will top up. From a resource management standpoint, I'm doing pretty well for myself. I came in here with 155 health potions, so you know, I've barely used any of those. We're in a good situation. It's better to have and not need them than need them and not have them. So as long as you have the inventory spots for the health potions, I say go for it. Same goes for the blue potions, the other boosts. We're thinking about adding some additional potions, by the way. This has not been discussed, so I will know if you watch this video or not if you weigh in with your thoughts regarding a potential purple potion that I personally have proposed. The purple potion would operate for, I believe, 30 minutes to match the duration of the other potions. The purple potion would basically give you an XP boost. That would That would allow players to level up their core character faster, but again, it is a consumable, so it's something you're going to need to spend 1 flare on. And from a menu presentation standpoint, we'd probably take the gas mask and move it down and have the purple potion in the gas mask's spot. That would also probably make the heads-up menu in the game a little more aesthetically appealing for those who value symmetry. So there's a little quasi-insider info. Well, it really is insider info. I'm on the team, right? So not really vital NDA level type stuff, but if that's something you would like to see, feel free to let us know in the chat. If you have ideas for other consumables, feel free to let us know. This may start a conversation among those in the chat. Good. That's what we want. Talk amongst yourselves and may the best ideas prevail. I'm also wondering, by the way, for Pyro's Mining Rush, was this your first time utilizing Aurora? In my case, it was. I had no conceptualization of Aurora, and I was really only familiar with Matic, and I will say Aurora seems to function quite similarly. It's been a good experience for me personally utilizing Aurora. Wondering what everyone else's thoughts were. Was this your first Aurora experience? If so, how has it been? This game is a lot like meditative gardening. You know, you kind of come in here and you've got your gear and stuff like that, and you can zone out a little bit, but not too much or you'll die. Oof, that was close. Another thing I like to do as well is once I have enough ore, I will basically in real life work while having a spare monitor with all the smelting at the smelter, and so I'll just do that or smith items, and it kind of gives you a feeling of multitasking while you're not really dividing your attention, and that way you're maximizing your time, your waking hours to do things that level you up in real life, but also in a game that you really enjoy. And so that's what I like to do. I was actually kind of saddened when we temporarily removed, which it probably will come back at some point in the future. We're just working on finding the right opportunity for it. But for those who have been with Pipe Flare for a while, you recall rock, paper, scissors. And rock, paper, scissors was really nice because we would set up maybe 500 rounds, right, of rock, paper, scissors, and you could just let that go and see what you were able to pull. And sometimes you would even pull an actual Pyro NFT. And so you could do that while you were working on other projects or maybe even playing other games that you have to more actively manage. That was a good experience, and I really missed that when it vanished temporarily, but that feeling quickly came back with the inception of Pyro's Mining Rush, and I'm glad to have that. So I definitely am pretty active at the smelter. We are thinking about adding some leaderboard measurements to allow people to kind of see who mints in a week, the most items, a lot of fun leaderboard content. If you have any ideas, for any certain things that you would like to see measured on the leaderboard, feel free to drop that into the chat as well and let us know, because there may be some ideas there that we may use. We already have, just between Mr. Shadow and I, a lot of ideas, but never hurts to crowdsource good ideas. We have a very vibrant community with a lot of extremely intelligent and creative people in it, and I would certainly be remiss not to tap that as a resource. So definitely invite you guys to share your ideas. You have some really excellent thoughts. As you can see here, I am, oh no, that was interesting. So I kind of inadvertently, nice, 2 crystal shards, inadvertently kited the kamikaze into the grave of one of these guys, the sword zombies. I'm just giving a lot of these my own names, by the way. These are not the official titles, but if you noticed about a minute or so back, that caused the grave to explode and also the kamikaze skull. So, useful. There are ways to survive in the cave and stay mining if you're smart. It's good. We're pulling a lot of crystal shards here. So I should be... Why did I do that? I should be able to recoup my investment in the mirror shield that I made. Probably just from this one playthrough, so that's always nice. I didn't really have anything else that I was rushing to invest my crystals in anyway. I'm saving them up for the skill tree. I think it is faucet level 4, which requires a great many crystals, and also onyx pearls, which we have not yet launched. So whenever I'm able to get to level 4 of that, though, I would like to be in position, at least in terms of gems, so I can get that. The platform does, in some respects, reward delayed gratification. If you can hold out and save for the bigger prize, sometimes it's really worth it, especially when we're talking passive income. That's a really great thing when you can just earn money in your sleep passively. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, man. Oh, that is the worst. Have you guys, let me ask you this. Have you guys ever been on like 1 health and then you die? And still the consumable gets used. That is my biggest pet peeve in PMR. And this is exactly the scenario I was talking about earlier. You get pretty deep into this crystal cave and the game gets savage. Absolutely savage. So now I'm back into survival mode. And this is precisely why we roll up in the crystal cave with multiple health kits. Multiple yellow potions. This is also why we level up our gear. You may favor the mining gear, but it's all fun and games until you get in this sort of scenario. And as you can see, enemies aplenty, but at least I just was able to reclaim my heart, which was nice. Okay, I'm just going to keep my cursor on that. Maybe I'll get lucky and I can one-shot this guy. The fireballs are useful, but the kamikaze skull just served as his shield. See, you got to be very, very patient when dealing with these guys, unless you have the sword soul. And, you know, even with a high-level assassin blade, you know, it's not doing its thing. It's not one-shotting him because there's a percentage chance. It's not guaranteed. Not at all guaranteed. So, there's another one. See? This is what I'm talking about. Oh man. This is not a hopeless situation, but also not a great situation. Oh, okay. I was like, what was that? That seemed like a very tiny enemy. It was an arrow. Alright, gonna have to pause it for a quick second here to handle some business. Bear with me. If you're still watching, thank you for hanging in there and listening to me basically monologue for 3 hours while I play a single player game. That is some hardcore dedication. Alright, I'm back. And better than ever. Maybe. If you can hear those nails clicking in the background, I don't know if noise cancellation is taking that out of the stream, but if you can hear that, that is my miniature dachshund, Ruger. He's a very good boy, but he has had some health scares this year. He suffers from congestive heart failure. We've got him on several different medications that I have been administering twice a day. The vets pretty much declared him a hopelessly lost cause, but I did not. I don't give up so easily. And they told me that he was pretty much guaranteed to not make it, and I could spend all the money in the world that I wanted to, and did, to give him a fighting chance. And here he is with me today. And he's moving around, as you can possibly hear, pretty well. So that is very good to see. Certainly a lot of patience, stewardship, and straight up prayer around the clock. So that is definitely a blessing from the Lord above. Okay, back to mining here. We've got 24 minutes. You know, I wonder... I probably can't. But I don't know. Nope. It's way too soon. Okay. I was hoping that I could deploy a miner there. Sometimes you get a little distracted and you lose track of time here in the Crystal Cave. It definitely does not feel like it's been 3 hours. I will say that. But it looked like probably the miner is halfway recharged, so I would say around 1:04 on the clock. I should be able to resume usage of the ghost miner. I'm not even going to try with these laser eyes. I'm trying not to swipe this guy. I have a tendency to just hold my finger down on the mining key. It just makes it easier. Generally, to just mentally know that I'm either mining or attacking whatever happens to be in front of me. But some situations you don't want to swipe. This would be one of them. You're better off just hitting this guy with a higher level skill. And as a matter of fact, if you do happen to have assassin gear equipped, that assassin benefit carries over to your skills as well. So you can deploy a skill and one-shot the enemy, which is useful.